It is September 1st. Yay, ringing in the September 2022, 8:34 with ATN's Book Club. We are reading in the Poetic Edda, Hymiskviða. Did I say it close? I got close.
Hymiskviða.
Hymiskviða. I'm going to go ahead, I'll read our intro, and then if whoever wants to start the intro after me can go ahead and jump in. Hymiskviða, the fetching of the cauldron. Hymiskviða tells the tale of Thor and Tyr retrieving a cauldron large enough to brew beer for all the gods. The gods lack such a cauldron, but Tyr's father, a giant named Hymir, owns one. The poem also relates the story of Thor fishing for the Midgard serpent with the head of an ox for bait, a scene that was commonly depicted in the Viking period. Hymiskviða appears in both the Codex Regius and the manuscript AM 748.
Hymiskviða. A long time ago, the gods came back from hunting, but they started feeling thirsty before they were done eating. They waved their wands looking for omens and blood. They learned that the Aegir owned some cauldrons.
Aegir, giant from the stone, sat there happy as a child. He looked much like Midgard's son. Thor, son of Odin, stared fiercely into his eyes. You will often provide a feast for the gods.
The argumentative god frustrated Aegir. The giant immediately sought some revenge against the gods. He asked Thor to fetch him a cauldron. I promise to brew beer in it for all of you.
The gods did not know how to proceed. None of them could get a cauldron. But Tyr, in private, spoke to Thor alone and revealed a welcome secret.
My mighty father, Hymir the Wise, lives to the east of Elivagar, near the end of the sky. He owns a cauldron that's a mile deep. It's the biggest cauldron of all.
Thor said, "Do you know if we can borrow this cauldron?"
Tyr said, "Yes, friend, if we can play a few tricks."
They left swiftly and traveled the whole day from Asgard, till they came to Egil's house. They left Thor's big horned goats in his care, and then they went to where Hymir lived.
Tyr found his ugly grandmother. She had 900 heads. But another woman was there, all golden, with a pretty face, and gave her son a beer.
Son of giants, she said, I'll hide your courageous men beneath the cauldron. My husband will abuse any guest who comes to our home.
That angry, hard-minded man came home late from his fishing, came into his hall. Glacier shook at each step. The beard on his face was frozen.
Hymir's concubine, Tyr's mother, said, "Hail, Hymir, come in and be happy. Your son has come to your home, as we expected after his long absence, and our famous enemy, the friend of humans, Thor, son of Odin, follows him."
You see them sitting beneath your own hall's roof. They're hiding by that wall. The giant reached out and broke the wall and snapped a beam in half.
Eight cauldrons shattered, except a well-forged one which fell in one piece. Thor and Tyr came forward. The old giant bent his gaze upon his enemy.
His thoughts were not kind when he fixed his eyes on Thor, killer of giants, here in his own home. But the giant ordered 3 bulls killed. Reluctantly, he ordered them cooked.
They beheaded the bulls and brought them to the cook pot. And before he went to bed, Thor, son of Odin, ate 2 whole bulls of Hymir's.
Gray-haired old Hymir saw it would be costly to feed the hunger of Thor. If all 3 of us want to eat tomorrow, then we'd better go fishing.
Thor said he was willing to row and fish if the bull giant would let him have some bait.
Ymir said, "Well, giant killer, if you're brave enough, go out to my herd. You'll find some bait there."
I suspect you'll find it easy to take some bait from one of my oxen. So Thor went quickly out in the forest, and he saw before him a black ox.
Thor broke the whole head off the ox, gripping its horns.
Hymir said, What you've done here is even worse than it was having you inside, sitting and eating.
Then Thor asked the giant to come with him to sea to row out with him. But Hymir rowed a little and was unwilling to row any further out into the deep sea.
Famous Ymir caught a whale and then caught 2 whales on one hook. But Odin's son sat in the rear and craftily baited his own hook.
Thor, friend of humans, enemy of the serpent, put the ox's head on his hook. Then the gaping Midgard serpent came up, the one that hates the gods and lives in the encircling sea.
The bold Thor pulled bravely to bring that poison-slick serpent up on board. With his hammer, he struck a blow on the head of Fenrir's serpent brother.
The monster howled, volcanoes erupted, and the old earth trembled all over. But that sea monster sank back into the waves.
The giant was gloomy as they rowed home. He sat at the oars and said not a word as they steered the boat back toward land.
Hymir said, Share my work with me. Do your half. Either take the whales to my house or stay and tie the boat up the boat.
Thor went and grabbed up the boat and oars. He didn't bail out the water, he just lifted the whole thing. And he took the whole boat, with its oars and buckets, it was a good boat, to the home of the giant. Thor carried it through the forest.
But the giant was still angry. He demanded a test of strength from Thor. He said it was no test at all to row a boat, but a truly strong man would be able to break his cup.
So Thor took the cup in one hand, but he broke a stone trying to shatter that glass cup. Then he threw it through a wall, but it was brought back unbroken to Hymir.
Till Hymir's pretty concubine told Thor a useful secret. Hid it on Hymir's head. That giant's skull is made of harder stuff than any cup.
Thor stood up vigorously. He summoned all his godly strength. He left not a mark on the giant's head, but the wine cup broke into pieces.
Ymir said, "I know my loss is great when I see my cup fall broken at my knees. I know that I will never say again, the drinks are ready."
The cauldron is yours, Thor and Tyr, if you can carry it out of my house. Tyr tried twice to lift it, but the cauldron remained unmoved.
Thor, strong father of Mothi, took a turn. His feet broke through the floor while he lifted, but he lifted that cauldron over his head, and the chains that held it broke and rattled at his heels.
They walked a long time before Thor, son of Odin, turned around and took a look behind him. and he saw coming from the rocky east Hymir with an army of giants coming at him, some with more than one head.
Thor threw the cauldron down from his shoulders and stood, ready to fight. He threw Mjolnir, his killing hammer, and he killed all those lava giants.
They didn't walk long before Thor, son of Odin, saw before him one of his goats, half dead. The goat was walking with a lame leg, and this was caused by lie-telling Loki.
But audience, you have heard all this. This story is often told among the stories of the gods. It's told how Thor was paid back by the lava giant Egil. Thor took both his children.
Then Thor, mightiest of gods, returned to Asgard with the cauldron of Hymir, and the gods drank good beer every winter's day in Aegir's hall.
Huzzah!
Yay! That was a quick one, but it was a good one, a fun one, a different one. Different than what we were reading the 2 weeks before.
Yes.
Anybody come prepared with questions today? Because we know I didn't. I already told you guys. Feelings, thoughts, emotions about this?
You know what I feel like is interesting? Is like, when we're talking about giants, there are so many references to so many different types of giants. And like they'll say, son of giants. And like, so like, but it's saying that Tyr was a son of giants, Odin's a son of giants, Thor is a son of giants. Because technically Odin would be a giant, and Jord is definitely a giant. But then we hear like, Hymir's grandmother had 900 faces, or 900 heads. Like, it's just really interesting to me.
I've been noticing the same thing, Kira. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I think it was 2 reads ago we were talking about a different giant again. They were talking about the ice giants, or the frost giants, and now we're talking about the lava giants. And literally, as they said that, as we read it, I was like, wait a minute. So my question is probably similar to yours. Like, how do we know who's what kind of giant? And are they all just giants in the end? Are they all Jotun? Like, question mark?
Theory that Jotun is just a tribe of giants.
Okay.
Like we have Texans that are still people, but they're from Texas. Like I feel like Jotun is just giants from Jotunheim. But yeah, like the ancestry of all of our gods and all of the giants is technically the same. So yeah, it's interesting, and it also makes you wonder if like they exacerbate features of the story to make them seem bigger, or if they can shape shift into bigger creatures, or you know what I mean? It's interesting to me.
Or was their energy bigger? Their aura bigger?
Big Jotun energy.
Right? Like, who knows? That's a really good... I like it. It's a very interesting thought. My cat does too. She perked up at it all.
I also did find some enjoyment with Hymir's wife. It's like an age-old joke about our spouse's thick skulls. Like, I appreciate that so much. It makes me laugh. But yeah, I didn't really have anything like prepared for tonight.
Yeah, I don't think this was one of our big thinky ones.
I feel like Thor just kind of like walked in and like, hey, I'm strong and I eat a lot and you're just gonna have to deal with it. Like it or not.
Yeah, and you're not gonna trick me, and even your wife likes me because she's gonna help me out.
It's almost like the ultimate your mom joke.
I love how Thor's so hot-headed, but everybody loves him. It's so funny.
Like the big brother.
Yep.
Big brother that he is. It was a short read, just like you promised us, friend.
Next week is exciting.
Oh yeah, Lokasenna at Loki's taunts. That'll be a read.
Lokasenna is my favorite story. It's like the perfect example of flighting, and like, it's just so I cackle the whole time. Like, there are some awful things said, but like, man, some of those roasts are so good.
Oh, it should be fun then.
Yeah.
Anybody
You will
have anything else?
giggle.
Did you say something about your game?
No, I said you will giggle the whole time. No, the good news is that you will not be separating my attention next week.
You broke up a
Hello.
little bit. That's why I didn't hear you, my friend.
Anyone see my comment in the
Oh,
VC
I forget
chat?
about it all the time, Narek. Hold on. That your birthday's in 8 days. Whoop whoop. Narek's birthday's in 8 days, guys. I reacted to your comment, by the way.
Virgo Club.
Yes, PJ. Short read, but still a good read. It was a fun one. I've heard all of my family members here talk about this story. So I've heard bits and pieces. I've heard the story, but I've never read the story myself. So it was a good read. And I'm a slacker. Sorry, guys. Things get overwhelming sometimes. I'm going to say goodbye to Craig, though, if we don't have anything more for the story. And all of the wonderful live people who just listened to us read that tonight.
Well, I have a question that might be useful for Craig. But okay, so it mentioned when they saw the goat that it had a broken leg, essentially. How did that end up being Loki's fault? I'm like,
I
He
got
was
the
like,
feeling that that's another story for another day, is what they were saying. Like, by the way, like, it happened because of Loki. However, we're going to cut there back to this story, and we'll pick up that story again. But correct me if I'm wrong, somebody.
No, I think that's correct.
Yeah.
and the part where's it at? Yeah, where they first go in there and she's like, I'll hide you. It reminded me a lot of Jack and the Beanstalk. The original Jack and the Beanstalk. They go up there, and his wife is sitting there, and it's like, hide in the oven or something.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So for all of our friends that want to join us next week on this live, we're doing Locusana next Thursday here in Book Club chat, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Sorry for all of you that are all in different time zones and I don't, say your CST and stuff. My bad, y'all. I can't. I don't know. I have a hard enough time trying to keep up with half of the ATN council that's in different time zones from me. I'm going to say goodbye to Craig. Good night, Craig.
Bye, Craig.
Hi, Craig.
Bye, Craig.